This came out last week, but we were kind of busy. Let's look at RFK Jr. This is a master class on how to take down a bunch of bootlickers in the Democratic Party and how to defend yourself against idiots and corrupt assholes shilling for Big Pharma, coming to the aid of Big Pharma and trying to stop someone who's actually on the side of the people and wants to bring health back to America since before Dr. Fauci's day. So let's go ahead and take a look at this because it's funny.
RFK Jr. stuns critics with masterclass Senate confirmation performance. Elizabeth Warren tried to put JFK Jr. on the spot. What happened next was priceless. Hilarity ensued when Elizabeth Warren inadvertently made Kennedy look great with the perfect softball question.
You said that President Trump asked you to, quote, clean up corruption and conflicts. Sounds great.
Oh, great. You're going to come after me now?
You said that you will, quote, slam shut the revolving door between government agencies and the companies they regulate. That also sounds great.
Are you telling me I probably won't be able to accept bribes anymore?
So here's an easy question. Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit?
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
I love that. That's so what she's asking for is, hey, after you're done from being in office, right? After you're the HHS secretary, will you commit to not taking any bribes from the pharmaceutical companies that you're going to regulate for the next 4 years? Meaning, hey, you can't make money when you get out of office if you want to make money. Okay. So that was her trying to make him look bad, but obviously that didn't work. What she's trying to do here, and we're going to show you this whole thing, is show how RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Bobby Kennedy, will actually enrich himself. He will use his office, his power under Trump as the new HHS secretary to enrich himself. And exactly how will he enrich himself? By suing Big Pharma, the very companies that are poisoning our children, that are putting toxins in our medications, that are passing vaccinations without actually doing the science behind them, that are hurting our children, and other companies that are spreading bad, unhealthy crap, and that we're taking into our bodies. Anyway, he's going to sue them, and that's how he's going to get rich. So what she's doing here is she's upset because he's going to sue Big Pharma, and she's going to make it seem like, well, you're a lawyer, so anytime you sue them, you're going to make money off of those cases as a lawyer. Oh, no.
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with.
I love how everybody was laughing. I love it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been suing Big Pharma because of the hazardous things that they are putting into our bodies with their products that they release and sell. And he's been winning those lawsuits, by the way. And for that, RFK Jr., he's being demonized by the Big Pharma-owned press, the military-industrial-owned press, Big Health, Big Agriculture, everything owned, Lockheed Martin, BlackRock-owned press. And now he's going to get owned by BlackRock, military-industrial complex, Big Health, Big Agriculture, and Big Agriculture and Big Pharma-owned senators like Elizabeth Warren. Garbage Elizabeth Warren. That's what she is, garbage. She's going to make it look like suing Big Pharma, him suing Big Pharma, is only for him to enrich himself and not to actually resolve the issues that are going on in our country. And she's going to make it look like that's a bad thing. Like all he's doing is enriching himself. Okay. And this is Elizabeth Warren, who some people said she was more progressive than Bernie at the time. And Bernie was just, falling for the Democratic establishment bullshit. But you get the point, right? If we were to take Bernie at face value, she was the more progressive one, even though she wasn't. And this is proof here.
And I think you're right on this.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
let's keep going. You're right, because to say yes, because every American has the right to know that every decision you make as our number one health officer is to help them and not to make money for yourself in the future.
Unlike the CDC director or the FDA chairman or the NIH director or the previous former HHS directors who have gone on to make money after they leave office by going into a board of Big Pharma. You mean like those people that you confirmed before? She takes Big Pharma money, and we'll go over that.
So I want to talk more about money. I'm looking at your paperwork right now. In the past 2 years, you've raked in $2.5 million from a law firm called Wisner Baum. You go online, you do commercials to encourage people to sign up with Wisner Baum to join lawsuits against vaccine makers. And for everyone who signs up,
So he helps people that have been injured by any product of Big Pharma. He helps them get compensation. People who got injured but don't have the money to go after Big Pharma, he's helping them get compensation, and he wins, and he gets them compensation. Huh? And she's here making that seem like that's a huge evil problem. Like, oh my God, you're gonna protect American people who got injured by Big Pharma. Oh no!
personally get paid. And if they win their case, you get 10% of what they win. So if you bring in somebody who gets 10 million.
So whenever you get injured at your workplace, let's say you work in construction, you get injured at your workplace, and your job doesn't want to give you workers' comp or anything like that, but you got injured on their property, or you're a crane operator and you got injured on the crane, your lawyer usually takes about 33% of whatever you earn. If you earn $100,000, that's 33%. If you earn $10 million, that's 33%. A third of everything that you've earned from that company, from suing that company, your lawyer takes 33%, and RFK Jr. only gets 10%. And she's making that seem like that's a huge issue.
You walk away with $1 million. Now, you just said that you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So,
There's a way to make money by suing Big Pharma and making them clean up their crap and making them take toxins out of their products. Oh my God. Oh, how dare you? Why would you do that? Oh my God. You're trying to help people? You're trying to make our children healthier? You're trying to get rid of diseases? 77 or 70 million people voted for Donald Trump. And they voted for Kennedy to be the HHS secretary because they are tired of chronic diseases, allergenic diseases and conditions, and Big Pharma injuries costing them money and lives and time with their loved ones. And she's making that seem like that's a negative.
Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for 4 years afterwards?
So what she's asking here is, promise me that you will never, ever, ever sue Big Pharma after you get out of being HHS secretary. I don't want you suing Big Pharma because that money comes back into my pockets from the toxic products they produce and all the injuries that come about and all the drugs that get approved. I get paid for that. Me, Elizabeth Warren, I got paid for that. I'm a Native American. They make me more Native American by taking money from Big Pharma. So promise me that you will not sue them now that you're HHS secretary for 4 years after. So he's 70, he'll be 74, and for 4 years after that. So he'll be almost 80 years old. And he can't sue Big Pharma because she's protecting Big Pharma.
Well, I'll certainly commit that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something because you're making me sound like a shill.
Yeah, she's making him sound like he's just trying to enrich himself, like he's a soul-sucking, money-wanting gold digger. even though I'm not sure how he's doing that because he's opposing Big Pharma. He's doing what most people want, which is to oppose and hold Big Pharma accountable. She's making that sound like he's shilling for money. And remember, she is afraid that he's going to be an adversary, not an ally, a foe of an enemy of Big Pharma, of the Big Pharma companies and drug manufacturers and vaccine manufacturers. You want to know why? Because she takes their money, and we'll go over that.
I put together that case. I did the Science Day presentation to the judge on that case to get it into court.
Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
Yeah,
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake out of that while you're a secretary and for 4 years after.
Please don't sue Big Pharma. Please don't hold them accountable.
Just
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
No. I'm asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not to do that?
Will you agree not to sue Big Pharma?
You're asking me to not sue drug companies.
No.
And I'm not
Yes.
going to agree to that, Senator.
Yes, you are.
I'm not going to agree to not sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a
So I'm not going to agree to not be an advocate of the people.
quick count here
So there you go.
of how, as Secretary of HHS,
There you
if
go.
get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead, something.
He's not anti-vaccine. He is pro-science, pro-vaccine, but pro-science, meaning let's actually talk about it. Let's actually find out the risks and the benefits of you putting something in your body.
A jury might be impressed by. You could appoint.
So here's Elizabeth Warren defending Big Pharma, progressive Elizabeth Warren, supposed progressive, defending Big Pharma. I just want you to see this. Progressive Elizabeth Warren is defending Big Pharma. That's what she's doing here. We saw Elizabeth Warren, the Senate, the House, the Biden White House, and the media lie on behalf of Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, and everybody else on regarding C-19 and the little thing, the little shot that goes in your arm, whatever it's called. I don't know. I can't say it here on YouTube. We saw them lie about it. We saw them lie about the science. We saw them lie about monoclonal antibodies. We saw them lie about everything. The problem that she's trying to present is making him suing Big Pharma look like a negative. Not like a net positive, but an actual negative. Not exposing their criminal practices is what she wants. She doesn't want him exposing their criminal activities because these are all mobs committing crimes and she doesn't want it.
I don't understand that.
CDC vaccine panel who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine from the vaccine schedule.
You could make sure that we're not putting out false data and making sure that we're actually following the science. You could do that.
You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which
you can remove people from getting paid from any vaccine they approve just to make money. What?
would open up manufacturers to mass torts.
You mean like opening Big Pharma up to actually being held accountable and liable for the products that they release that injure the American people and people around the world? You mean the fact that now we can sue Big Pharma? The only company in the world that you cannot sue is Big Pharma. You can sue your small business for any reason, but you cannot sue Big Pharma for injuring you or your loved one. She's afraid of you, the average person watching this video, being able to sue Big Pharma for your injuries. That's what she's scared of.
You could make more injuries eligible for compensation even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn
You could make it easier for people to sue for injuries? Oh my God. Someone help, please, don't confirm him.
over.
She's doing the bidding of Big Pharma. She's doing the bidding of BlackRock, of Wall Street, of the military industrial complex, of big health, big agriculture, big medicine. She is doing the bidding of the establishment class, the elitists, the oligarchs, the donor class, and she's the enemy of you and me, the American people.
FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them.
You could use it to sue Big Pharma and give people their day in court so that they could get compensation from injuries they get from products made by Big Pharma.
You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules.
You could make sure people understand what they're taking into their body. You could actually warn them.
You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program. There's a lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits, and
everybody is for this. 77 million people are for this. They want this. You know who's not? Elizabeth Warren. You know why? Because she's bought and bribed and corrupt.
Pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS. And I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as Secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and you have said
You're asking me, Senator,
both
you're asking me not to sue
requirements
vaccine
No,
pharmaceutical
I am
companies.
not.
Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Why would you say I'm suing them? I'm trying to get you to stop suing them. That's what's happening. I know you guys are like, that guy is having a psychotic meltdown. That blind motherfucker is going crazy. I can't believe you would call me out like that. Psycho bitch meltdown. Someone call a psychologist. Call a psychiatrist. Call anybody. Save her.
Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Well, look, no one should be fooled here. As
fought
Secretary of
Don't be fooled. Like she said, nobody should be fooled that Elizabeth Warren is a corrupt piece of shit senator and person. Don't be fooled. She's corrupt and she's a liar. And if you watch this show or Jimmy Dore or Glenn Greenwald or Kid Cabello or Jackson Hinkle or the Convo Couch or Heartlands Media or any of those guys that actually call out the establishment, you are not falling for it.
HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep
Can you
cashing
believe
in.
this?
Wow. He might take millions of dollars like I do. And that's a problem because he's going against the very people that bribe me. Now, why is Elizabeth Warren worried and afraid of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. going in and suing the hell out of Big Pharma? Why is she worried about you guys getting your day in court? I don't know.
The top 20 recipients of money from pharmaceuticals and health products in 2019-2020. Oh, Elizabeth Warren, $821,000.
Wow, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Elizabeth Warren, among the top 20 recipients of Big Pharma bribes and corruption. $821,000. So here's the chairman of the committee that Elizabeth Warren is on and that RFK was doing his hearing in, making Elizabeth Warren look like the corrupt POS Big Pharma shill that she is. Watch as the chairman rebuffs her argument. Watch this.
That Mr. Kennedy has gone through the same Office of Government Ethics process as every single other nominee in the Finance Committee this year and in previous administrations. In addition to listing his assets, including the items that you've identified, he has signed an ethics letter that has been reviewed by the Office of Government Ethics concerning any possible conflict in light of its functions and the nominee's proposed duties. And we have a letter from the Office of Government Ethics that he hasn't complied completely with all applicable laws and regulations governing conflicts of interest.
Mr. Chairman, point of information here.
Can you not point out that I'm a shill of Big Pharma and that I just made him look like a master? Can you please stop pointing out that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is being forthright and honest? Can you please stop?
We had a single nominee come through who's made $2.5 million off suing one of the entities that it would be regulating.
Have we ever had anyone come for this position in government that's been an adversary of Big Pharma? Have we ever had someone that would come in and sue Big Pharma? The answer is no. This is the first time in my lifetime that I've seen anyone who would actually sue Big Pharma and have the balls to do it at a government level. But this bitch is trying to make it look like Robert Kennedy is trying to get on the gravy train. Like he's trying to take her spot because you can't go without $821,000. Like she makes suing Big Pharma seem like a bad thing because it's a bad thing for her pockets.
And plans to keep getting a take of every lawsuit in the future. Have we had that before?
I haven't reviewed the past documentation of every other nominee's financial interests. And so, no, but I know that every single time we get a nominee, their financial interests are attacked. That's why we have the Office of Government Ethics. That's why they've reviewed everything that's in his record. And that's why he has even, I think, and I don't know that I want to ask him to get into it, but he has listed his assets and has gone through a discussion of the responsibilities under our ethics laws and is complied with all of those requirements.
So this is the garbage POS that is Elizabeth Warren. She wants to keep your kids sick and unhealthy. She wants to allow people to keep dying and getting injured off of Big Pharma products. And she wants to demonize anyone that stands up against Big Pharma and stands up to Big Pharma and sues the living shit out of Big Pharma. And she's doing the bidding and the shilling for the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party are all bought by Big Pharma. So those that voted Democrat, and look, the Republicans are too, but we know that. But people think, oh, Democrats, they're so good, they're here for the people. They're all bought by Big Pharma. They are all bought by Big Pharma. And she is standing up for her party, and she's standing up for the corruption, and she's standing up for Big Pharma, not you, not the people of Massachusetts. So that's Elizabeth Warren. Big Pharma shilling idiot. But luckily, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has passed the Finance Committee, and he'll now be going up for a confirmation vote. And maybe we can start having our days in court and getting Big Pharma to be held accountable.